Thank you, Mr. Gaynor. Mr. Salmon, how will you protect us from the feds? Like I said, what I mean by that is we've recently seen the feds overreach, and how will you protect us from that in this state?
Let me first say this. The only idiot that rivals Joe Biden in Washington, D.C. is that idiot Fauci. And anybody that would support that idiot has got to have poop for brains. I mean, he has been out there calling for the stupidest things, and he can't make up his mind as far as the vaccine, as far as COVID is concerned. And the policies change every couple of weeks. I loved watching Rand Paul eat his lunch about the gain of function issue that he's been involved in. I agree with what Kari Lake said about Washington politicians letting us down time and time again. That's why when I went back there this last time, we formed the Freedom Caucus. It was me and Ron DeSantis, Mark Meadows, Jim Jordan. Because we got sick and tired of fighting against the most pro-abortion, most pro-takeover of every freedom in our life president, take away our guns, pass a nationalized health care, get them involved in the decisions between the doctor and the patient. I go on and on. Catch and release policies. President Obama, the worst president that we've ever had until the idiot that we've got now. And so I went back there full of piss and vinegar to go back there to try to stop Obama dead in his tracks. But what we found was a bunch of complicit Republicans who were a bunch of wusses. And so we were at a conference, and Jim Jordan came up to me and said, "What can we do, Matt?" I said, "Let's start a group." We started the Freedom Caucus. The next week we got back, and they elected me and Jim Jordan and Mark Meadows to go into John Boehner's office and tell him he was done, tell him he was gone. So we did. We went into his office and we said, "Hey, dude, we've got the votes to take out as speaker," and 2 days later he left. The fact is, Republicans, just because they have a Republican behind their name, doesn't mean that they'll really care about the Constitution or care about America. And we got to hold people accountable. So what will I do? As governor, I'll do the same thing I did back there. I don't care if they're Republican, I don't care if they're Democrat, I don't care if it's the man in the moon. If you're trying to do something to my state that I believe is going to hurt our people or violate our rights or our Constitution, I'm going to say no, and I'm going to say it loud and clear, and I'm going to fight you with everything that I got. If they try to put FBI agents into our classrooms, to try to find terrorists in the classrooms, they're going to meet the National Guard, because we're going to call them out. And they're not going to get by us, because this is our space. And we're going to assert our rights and our authority. We need a strong governor that's going to be able to stand up to these guys, and I know how to do that. Thank you.
Well, that concludes our questions, and I want to say thank you to all three of you so much for being here tonight and answering these questions, taking time to do this. LD15 really appreciates all of you. I would like to add this real quick. This is just Monet back speaking, no one else. I'm not even speaking for the board because we didn't discuss this, but this is something that's really heavy on my heart. And in our last election, I saw such a division in our party post the primary. And I was very impressed with all three of you tonight. And LD15, I do hope that we can come together, and no matter which one of them is elected, we can get behind them and get them across the finish line so we can finally defeat the left.
We need to include all the candidates. All the candidates need to be represented.
Lastly, I will give each of you 2 minutes if you would like to give any concluding thoughts to this evening. Ms. Lake, you can go first.
Thank you so much. Thank you for everyone who showed up. I know we're living busy lives and kids have homework and we have to fight the school board and be called terrorists by our own government and risk everything, but we're in tough times, and so I thank you for coming out. I know it's been a stressful couple of years, and I think we're in for some more stress as well. I'm running for governor because I care so deeply about this state. I covered it for 27 years. I'm a mom, I'm the wife of a small business owner, I'm a God-fearing woman, and I want to save Arizona. I'm not willing to let us turn into California 2.0. And we are not a purple state, we are not a fuchsia state, we're not a blue state. We're as red as her jacket right there. We all know that, and we're going to have to fight back to make it happen. Arizona, and since we announced on June 1st that we were running, we have seen a movement. It took us 3 weeks to get enough signatures to be on the ballot. We have thousands of volunteers. The biggest complaint we have right now in our campaign is volunteers saying, I'm ready to work, put me to work. So we're working on putting our volunteers to work. We have more volunteers than some presidential campaigns. We have 6,700 donors, and these are small donors, $100, $130 donors. Arizona is ready for a non-politician to run for governor and lead this state. We cannot put somebody in office who's already had a chance at this and lost. We can't lose in November. Everything is on the line. We always hear the politicians say that. But in 2022, everything is on the line. And that's why I'm running. I'm not running because I'm going to leave the corporate, corrupt media and go into the even more corrupt world of politics. That would make me crazy. I'm doing this because I love Arizona and I'm so worried about it. If we don't put the right person on the ballot, we will see Katie Hobbs, or worse, I don't know what else the Democrats have up their sleeves, in office, and we can't afford to have that happen. I love this state with all my heart. Nobody will outwork me. Nobody's more conservative than I am. Not a single person will have the stamina that I have and can take on the corporate media. Last night, I was at an event with young Republicans and CNN had the gall to show up. And they tried to ambush me, and I said, don't ambush me, I'll give you an interview. And I just posted it, by the way, on my Rumble page. If you know what Rumble is, it's the YouTube for conservatives. So go check it out. I just want the media to know you cannot throw me off track. I will take on the corporate media, and that's why President Trump endorsed me. This is why Paul Gosar endorsed me. This is why General Michael Flynn has endorsed me. Rick Grinnell has endorsed me, and a number of other amazing patriots, including Mike Lindell. And I just would really love your support. I know that we will get behind the candidate who's going to win this, and I think we need to unite as a party because we cannot afford to have these lunatics run this state into the ground. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That's good. Mr. Gaynor, you have 2 minutes for concluding thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for allowing me to address you tonight from the Socialist Republic of California. I had an emergency here. I really wanted to be with you in person, but I appreciate your letting me zoom in. I've been in business in Arizona for 40 years. All that time, I've also been in business in California. Arizona has blossomed into a beautiful state and is still free. California, on the other hand, has grown into a misery. It's a terrible place to do business and a terrible place to live. People used to love it, they flocked here. It's become a concrete jungle and a socialist hell. I know what that is, and I know how to stop it. I have 3 children. They all live in Arizona. I want for them and for your children and your grandchildren what I've had. The American dream and a state where you can live free. When I ran for Secretary of State in 2018, I knew we had trouble coming. When I looked ahead in 2019, I saw that if we didn't push in redistricting, we would end up with a blue legislature and shortly thereafter a blue state. I know how politics works, but I'm not a politician. I come from the outside. I've had a lot of success in my business career, and I will bring that success to the Capitol I will take on the vested interests and the politicians who want to serve their own interests instead of the people. And we will make Arizona a great state, a state that is a leader on the national stage and even in the